Ready?
Yep.
Call this regular meeting to order. Call roll.
Mayor Quirrell.
Here.
Councilmember Swanson.
Here.
Mabry.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Stand. Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there any public comments tonight to get us started? Just need your name.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think, no, it's not.
So put it on.
The system's not on.
Oh,
So just speak loudly.
I will do that. I will do that.
Here's a toast to the evergreen which gave up its limbs so the city could call it enhancement. Doesn't that mean adding on or two? Maybe they should have had an apple or an oak tree so they could see the trunk. This tree has spread Christmas cheer for many decades. I'm sure you remember. Too bad it no longer has its lower limbs for support. Its root system is shallow, therefore it has low limbs. But our tree brought us financial aid too. A while back, during the Christmas season, an Amtrak passenger was so impressed he sent us a check for $100 for the joy of the lighted tree. Now all we ask is, how and who will admire our popsicle that it has become? Thank you.
Thank you, Geraldine. Any other public comments tonight? Okay, so we'll go to approval of minutes to Commissioner Mila.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on July 20th, 2020.
Second.
Motion's been second. Any comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Quirrell.
Aye. Aye. We'll go to approval of invoices and city clerk notes.
For this period, in the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have invoices totaling $19,837.52. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have invoices totaling $59,931.77. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $108,488.56. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $112,406.96. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed their reviews of all invoices and now are submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
Motion's been second. Comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Quirrell.
Aye. We'll go to regular business and city clerk notes.
Next on the agenda, we have the first reading of Ordinance O-20-009. This is an ordinance annexing real estate to the city of Princeton. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-20-009 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. Comments? Call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Quirrell.
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance O-20-010. This is an ordinance establishing a franchise agreement with Nicor Gas. This is the first reading, if I hadn't mentioned that already. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-20-010 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been second. You want to say anything on this, Teresa? Or we good?
I can touch on this a little bit because this is kind of a learning experience for me on this one as well. The last one was in place 30 years ago, so we're reaching that point to redo this.
50 years ago.
50 years. Oh, I thought it said 30 years ago.
Well, that was my case.
Well, I said it was signed in August of 1970.
Yeah, 50 years.
Oh my God! Yeah, okay, my math is totally off. 50 years ago. And the way, and Bernie did a really good job walking us through, how they're kind of explaining this to us, but, basically, we're given the option of taking the therms or taking basically a payout for it, which is about half of what the therms that the franchise therm allocation, which was almost 23,000. So we can estimate a payout in about January timeframe of, I think it was a little over 11,000?
Between 11 and 12,000.
Yeah, so, really it's the same as what we had about 50 years ago, because therms would be different, so, or 50 years ago, I think maybe again, 50 years ago.
Anything else? Motion's been second, call roll.
Councilmember Swanson.
Aye.
Mavry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. And we'll go to regular, thank you, Pete, we'll go to the city manager report.
Okay, you just got a copy of the financials for May of 2020. I just got this afternoon. So I quickly went home and tried to review this. And actually I thought there was an error and there's not, so I think I'm okay. Again, this is just for May, so we're a couple months behind on this, and this is first month getting into the new fiscal year, so things are going to be off a little bit. I would anticipate seeing a little bit more expenditures than revenue at this point. Revenues are going to be a little bit slower coming in. But on page 1, you can see at the bottom, we're pretty even when it comes to the revenue expenditures, which is a good sign. So we may be up in some areas and down in a little bit other. We should be closer to about 8.75 on those, but we're pretty close on that. If you want to go to page on 4, you'll really see that hit with the motor fuel tax coming in. We're 33% ahead on that right there, and that's because you're getting that extra allotment. We're getting 3 now. And I just got word, and I should find out a little bit more about this, but we may get another allotment of about a little over $20,000. We'll see how that's going to actually be given to us. I'm not quite sure how that's going to work, but NCICG just notified me of that. So there may be a little bit more from motor fuel tax coming in. And then there's you have the expenditure versus budget for each of those through page 8. If you want to look at page 8, we've talked about this a little bit. This chart can be a little bit confusing because fiscal year kind of falls a little different than this chart. So focus on January, February, March, April, May. You're going to have your 2020 numbers in there for your hotel, motel numbers. February is where we had that huge spike, which was interesting. And then you hit March. You started to hit a little bit of the COVID about that time, towards the end of the month. And April is where you really got hit with it. Now May, I'm surprised, you're starting to see it come back up. And I try to watch the hotels when you drive past there this evening to see what's happening. Last Wednesday, they were packed at night. So I'm hoping that's a good sign. Things are back up and running. I don't know what it looks like on the weekends all the time, but yeah, there was a ton of trucks out there, semis and everything. So that's good. Yeah. So, and I think the wind farms, they're back up and going too. So I did meet with the chamber interim director today to talk a little bit about the tourism dollars, to see where we're landing with some of the figures and looking at what we've budgeted for tourism dollars and what things we may need to pull back a little bit on, but we might not be doing as bad as what we thought it could be. So we'll still stay on track with it. I recommended to her maybe about September, October, whether it's the interim director that's still there or a new director, we revisit where we're at so we can try to get a game plan with some of the other projects that we're looking at doing and seeing where we're at. A big thing, there were we do the tourism grants with that money, and obviously a lot of the events that typically apply for that money aren't happening, so there won't be as much of a demand on those funds. But we'll stay on top of it, and we'll see what June brings with those hotel numbers. So see a little bit of a positive rise there. obviously when you get to the 11 and 12, you're gonna see the debt payments there. I don't like to look at those. Last page is your ViewCom, your number of calls. So it's interesting to look at how busy our public safety departments are, so it's very eye-opening.
Well, one positive about the debt, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
it was $40 million, you knocked that down to $15 million.
Yep, and you'll see some of it fall off this year, which is good too, so.
We've done that because obviously we've made our payments, we haven't taken on any new long-term debt, so that's, we keep that going, so it's a
Yeah.
progress. Definitely.
Yep. Okay, the only other thing I have, if there's any questions on that, sorry, that was the last minute, I just got it, so. We put it on the agenda with the anticipation it would get here, so we just got it today. The other thing I put in front of you is the electronic recycling day, September 19th, 8 to 11, I don't have it in front of me, I'm trying to remember exact times and everything. So we are, letting the department heads know, they've, I let them know a while ago, so we can start to get some of the volunteers ready to go on this. You will see towards the middle, there's some limitations this year. 2 TVs, 2 monitors, something like that, of 5 items, so you don't get that truck
Princeton
load of.
residents only.
Huh?
Princeton residents only.
Princeton residents only. Yep,
Utility bill and a driver's license.
yeah, so they need to be prepared.
And it's gonna take place at the transfer station,
Yep.
which is.
Yep, which means we're gonna have some traffic control and all of that, so. Yeah. So, that is coming up, we've had some questions on that, we wanted to start getting it out so that people can be ready for it.
What's interesting is it says limit 5 items per car, but we don't know what, I mean, is it a cell phone item, 1 item?
I think they'll use some, limit 5 big items.
I mean, in the past, I've seen people with trailers full of.
Yeah, see, that's what we wanted to prevent, we can't do that, so. I think they're gonna fill 4 trailers, I'm trying to remember now, so we talked about this. Big, trailers, once they're filled, so.
Anything else? Teresa? I just have one item under mayor's report. We lost a longtime city employee this weekend, Tim Hayes, who worked with our street department, and most recently the cemetery passed away on Saturday. So condolences on behalf of the city to his family and his friends. Do you have any old business tonight? Any new business?
If I could, Mayor, for new business, I've had some residents contact me that live on Hudson Street, and I know we're aware of this, but you need to maybe put this on the front burner. So if you go down Hudson West from First Street going about a block and a half on that concrete street, it's really deteriorated to the point where we're gonna have to decide if we're gonna go in there and do some temporary patching with asphalt or something. And you've had some calls about that too, right?
Yeah, I talked to Quinn about it, he knows about it, so it's a matter of what are we gonna do, when we're gonna get it done, so. Is it something we'll probably have to cut out and patch?
I think you go down there and look at it, park and look, it's kind of nasty because where it's deteriorated, I don't know if there's anything good to attach yourself to, so maybe a situation until we decide to take on maybe a bigger part of the project, we may have to saw cut, put asphalt in there, because I don't know if we can, if there's enough integrity to what we need to hook up to.
That's what I was thinking,
Yeah,
asphalt.
but it's a council's chance to look at it. I had 2 residents today, I was going down Hudson, and it's just by ironic that 2 stopped me and wanted to talk about it, which is fine, we need to get, so I'm glad you're aware of it, I'm glad that the street superintendent's aware of it, so maybe we'll get a plan of action. Great, very good, thank you.
Any other new business? Public comment? Entertain a motion to adjourn and reconvene.
We adjourn our regular meeting this evening and reconvene on Monday, August 17th, 2020, 7 o'clock at City Hall. Any changes in meeting format and location other than City Hall will be announced in advance.
Second.
Motion's been second, call roll.
Councilmember Swanson. Aye. Mabry.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
Newman.
Aye.
Mayor Querem.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned, thank you all for attending.